Bonjour et bienvenue à l'Assemblée générale 2020 de Hope Worldwide Canada. Nous sommes heureux que vous ayez pris le temps de vous joindre à nous pour apprendre et constater à quel point Hope Worldwide Canada a contribué cette année à rendre ce monde meilleur pour des milliers de personnes dans le besoin.
Hello and welcome to the 2020 Annual General Meeting of Hope Worldwide Canada. We are so glad that you have taken the time to join us, to watch and to learn about how Hope Worldwide Canada has contributed to making this world a better place for thousands of people who are in need. Anne?
Hope Canada est un organisme de bienfaisance qui œuvre depuis 1993 sous la gouverne d'un conseil d'administration national. Sa mission est de répondre aux besoins des personnes les plus démunies et vulnérables en redonnant espoir et en changeant des vies. Hope Canada, c'est 11 équipes d'un océan à l'autre et une présence active dans 10 pays à l'étranger.
Hope Worldwide Canada is a charitable organization operating since 1993 with a national board of directors. Our mission is to meet the needs of the poor and needy, bringing hope and changing lives. We currently operate in 11 chapters across Canada and in 10 countries around the world.
Mon nom est Anne Dussault et je suis membre bénévole du conseil d'administration de Hope Worldwide Canada depuis 2009. Je fais du bénévolat parce que ça donne vie à ma foi et parce que c'est ce que Dieu nous commande. Je crois sincèrement que lorsqu'on sert avec l'amour de Dieu, les gens restent marqués par quelque chose d'inoubliable.
My name is Clovis Grant, and since 2012, I've been a volunteer with Hope Worldwide Canada as a member of its board of directors. I volunteer because God calls us to serve. I believe that serving is one of the most powerful, yet at the same time, one of the most rewarding things you could ever do.
Aujourd'hui, vous serez informés du travail exceptionnel qu'accomplissent nos bénévoles pour servir les personnes dans le besoin ici au Canada et dans les pays où Hope Worldwide Canada soutient des programmes locaux. Alors, asseyez-vous confortablement et célébrez avec nous une autre année extraordinaire de service à la gloire de Dieu.
In our meeting today, you will hear about the great work taking place across Canada to serve those in need, as well as in the different countries where Hope Worldwide Canada supports program activities. So sit back and celebrate with us another amazing year of service to the community. To God be the glory.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Potter, and I, along with Greg Taylor, serve as a co-country director for Hope Worldwide Canada. Now, earlier, Anne and Clovis mentioned our mission, which is to bring hope and change the lives of those in need. In Canada, the way we do that is through developing and implementing innovative programs that mobilize volunteers to positively impact their communities. In our work within Canadian communities, we do that through chapters, and each chapter is run by a volunteer chapter director. Now, chapter directors, along with their local advisory groups, assess the needs of their communities, plan out programs and events to meet those needs, and encourage volunteers to participate in meeting those needs. These incredible chapter directors and advisory groups have done an amazing job, and in 2019, they coordinated over 1,600 volunteers who donated over 10,500 volunteer hours. And the result? Over 15,000 people were served. It is absolutely inspiring to see how many lives are being impacted by our volunteers. Today I'm providing a report for the Western Canadian chapters, what they were up to in 2019. I'm going to begin over at the West Coast at the Pacific Ocean in Vancouver. In 2019, Kelly Zayons took on the lead of the chapter and set about creating new volunteer opportunities with Night Shift Ministries, an organization which provides outreach to those who are stuck in the cycle of poverty and addiction. Chapter volunteers organized and ran a warm clothing drive, then provided that warm clothing and a lovely evening meal to those who were in need. They also held their annual Christmas Eve caroling event at the BC Children's Hospital, with 20 volunteers lending their voices to bring Christmas cheer to all in attendance. Sarah Falushko, a longtime and passionate volunteer in Vancouver, spearheaded the fundraising and development of a proposal to equip Hope Worldwide Philippines staff with mental health training. This training will provide traumatized children with tools to build self-awareness and emotional regulation. The project is being implemented this year. Vancouver, along with many of our chapters across Canada, put a lot of effort and focus into providing opportunities for service and learning for its volunteers. Vancouver provided grants to support 2 youth to attend Hope Youth Corps and funds for Holly Kennedy Simons to attend the Hope Volunteer Corps in Nepal. And when the Hope Global Summit occurred in October last year, they had representation from 6 of their volunteers. In fact, Western Canada as a whole was well represented, with 12 attendees at the conference, many of whom were self-funded, with the goal of increasing their learning and further developing their chapter programs. In Calgary, we had Cicely Patrick at the helm of the chapter and volunteers consistently serving each month at a local food bank. They also put on a flapjack fundraiser to support their chapter activities, with volunteers serving up hearty servings of bacon and pancakes. Volunteers also put a great deal of effort into volunteering at Brenda's House, an emergency family shelter. Their Hope in Action Day was spent cleaning up all the public spaces of Brenda's house and then joining the residents for an afternoon of drumming, smudging, and making traditional Indigenous foods. During the Christmas season, chapter volunteers organized their annual Christmas wish list in support of Brenda's house, as well as the Maui Maui Community Center. Volunteers collected and wrapped Christmas gifts, delivered those gifts and hot chocolate to the recipients, and joined in for holiday festivities. It's been absolutely wonderful seeing Calgary build its relationships, so much so that their volunteer Natalie Wynn Dempsey performed the traditional drumming of the festivities at Brenda's house. In Edmonton, Hilaire Marks and the chapter advisory group focus on events that allow the entire family to volunteer and pitch in together. Throughout the year, they had multiple events for local food banks, either helping out by cleaning and organizing the facilities, or organizing food and warm clothing drives. For their Spring Hope in Action Day, volunteers went to Kids Cottage, a crisis prevention center, to help out with organizing donations, as they have done so for many years. Edmonton also participated in Ride for Refuge for the 5th year in a row, with 17 volunteers walking or riding in the event to fundraise for their local chapter programs. And then, when the festive holiday season arrived, volunteers did a large hamper collection, providing gifts and food for 7 families. They also held their annual Christmas caroling event at Roslyn Seniors Lodge, where they performed Christmas carols, visited with the residents while enjoying Christmas goodies and putting smiles on everyone's faces. Over in Winnipeg, the focus of Chapter Director Krista Weeb and the advisory group have been initiatives and programs that support youth in need. In the winter of 2019, they focused their attention to helping youth struggling during the winter months. They participated in the Coldest Night of the Year event, raising funds for those experiencing homelessness, and partnered with a local middle school to collect warm winter apparel for youth who were in need. They also did their annual Stock the Shelves drive for youth aging out of foster care, collecting household goods and food for those who were struggling to make ends meet. Later, as the spring came about, volunteers were busy with community cleanups, their second annual picnic for families within the autism community, as well as holding a breakfast fundraiser and information events for the Centers of Hope in the Philippines. They also later participated in Ride for Refuge, with 31 volunteers participating and raising over $7,000. Throughout the year, in a partnership that is over 8 years old with Winnipeg Child and Family Services, Winnipeg volunteers were busy serving at multiple events, including picnics, a Cookies with Santa event, and their own Thanksgiving hamper drive for foster children and their families. The Winnipeg chapter also runs an 8-week life skills series for youth preparing for living on their own while in care. The chapter volunteers developed and teach the series twice a year on subjects like finances, finding a job, renting a place to live, and healthy eating on a budget. But by far, their biggest programs for 2019 was their Maxed Out Summer Day Camp and the Hope Volunteer Corps in Winnipeg. It was the second year in a row for both, where volunteers developed and ran a free 2-week summer day camp for children in foster care. And they simultaneously ran a volunteer corps for over 22 volunteers from across North America. They were successful in hiring a university student through the Canada Summer Jobs Program who was an incredible asset getting things prepared for the camp. Chapter volunteers did all the behind-the-scenes work for their day camp and the volunteer corps, while the HVC participants were the camp counselors at the camp. They also had incredible volunteers from across Canada come to assist with the camp in HVC. Matt and Jen Rollins from Vancouver donated their time to serve as day camp directors, and for the second year in a row, Karen Martin from Ottawa donated her own time and money to come prep the HVC participants on how to properly handle and meet the needs of children in care. Chapter volunteers made welcome packets, cooked all the food, drove the participants around on a daily basis, organized special events, and led many of the devotionals for the HVC. The camp was a success, with the relationships that had been built continuing on into the Christmas season when the Winnipeg chapter held a fun event last December. And the Hope Volunteer Corps was a big success as well. In fact, according to Nadine Templer, International Volunteer Programs Officer for Hope Worldwide, HVC Winnipeg received the top score for all volunteer corps in 2019, receiving a perfect score in surveys received on things such as value for money, accommodations, relationship with the local church, food, impact of the program, and impact on the volunteers. The Winnipeg chapter was exhausted by the end of last summer, but they're excited to do it again in 2021 with the goal of having a fully Canadian Hope Volunteer Corps serving at the Max Out Summer Day Camp. They want everyone to know if you're interested, they would love to have you to start making plans and letting them know Winnipeg is eager to welcome you. So as you can see, our Western Canadian chapters have been quite busy making an impact in 2019. And so now I pass things on to Greg so you can hear about the incredible things that Eastern Canada has been up to. Thank you.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us as we talk about the great things that our volunteers and our amazing Heavenly Father has accomplished in 2019. My name is Greg Taylor, and I serve as one of the country directors for Hope Worldwide Canada, and I really have one of the easiest jobs to do today, and that is be able to talk about our incredible, amazing volunteers and supporters in Eastern Canada. I'm standing here in Halifax at the mouth of the Halifax Harbor, and I just wanted to draw attention that from this harbor during 2 world wars, convoys offering relief and support to help liberate oppressed peoples were sent out. And in the same way, in a very real way, that is really what each of our chapters does, is they serve to send out relief and support to help the people in their communities, literally in their communities, across Canada, and all around the world. On behalf of Hope Worldwide Canada, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our amazing partners, volunteers, and supporters for your support of Hope Worldwide Canada. Since the beginnings of Hope Worldwide Canada in the days of Lyle Oslin and Dave Eastman back in Toronto in 1993, Hope Worldwide Canada has grown to now include 11 chapters from coast to coast. We're active in supporting programs in 10 countries around the world, and each year sees dozens of disciples serving some of the most impoverished people around the world in numerous Hope Worldwide volunteer corps. And we could not do this without your support. So let me give you an Eastern Canadian chapter recap here. In Hamilton in 2019, the Hamilton chapter appointed a new chapter director, Kevin Elzinga, who is a dear friend and is doing a fantastic job in his role. Over the course of the year that they were partnering with the Hamilton Church of Christ, donating over 20 backpacks with school supplies to a local program in downtown Hamilton. In November, they were to deliver over 50 Subway sandwiches and water to homeless in downtown Hamilton. And then in Christmas, they partnered with the building that they meet in and allows them to serve their community, to serve a Christmas dinner to the patrons, to the local community to access a food bank in the building where the Hamilton Church meets. And they're looking for ways in the future to further expand their service in that community. The Toronto Church actually has 3 chapters serving in each of the 3 regions of the Toronto Church. In the Toronto West, we have Delane Yee, who serves as the chapter director and does an amazing job mobilizing her volunteers to meet the needs in their community. So last Christmas, they did a toy drive and were able to donate over 200 gifts and 55 gift cards for kids in a local and families in a local shelter in Peel region. For Easter, they serve breakfast at a shelter. They've also collected back-to-school backpacks and made milk bag mats. I'll go into those in a little bit detail what those are. The chapter also led a team back to New Orleans, where they've continued to reconstruct homes that were devastated by Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. Moving to the central region of the Toronto Church, our Toronto Central chapter for Hope Worldwide Canada is led by Dr. Phil Asagi. And in 2019, they revamped their chapter advisory team, and they've mobilized their volunteers to meet so many needs in their community. In mid-February, they collected over 30 baskets to be distributed to mothers or families living in poverty, and they did this around the Valentine period and called these love baskets. In Easter, they visited some centers and delivered gift baskets to families that were living in extreme poverty. In 2019, for their Hope National Day of Action in August, they mobilized an outreach into downtown Toronto and handed out toiletries and summer hygiene kits to a number of the homeless people that they encountered in downtown Toronto and in some centers there as well. In August, they also ran a back-to-school backpack school supply program for the community. October, they did the Ride for Refuge fundraiser. And then coming up into mid-December, they mobilized a winter clothing drive in which they collected numerous bags of donated clothing for the homeless in the Out of the Cold program to help out there. Toronto East, led by our chapter director there, Carolyn Howe, has done an amazing job. And one of the unique things that the Toronto East chapter has is the use of the church building where their congregation meets, and they'd be able to use that to meet numerous needs and run programs from there. So for example, the milk bags that I talked about a little earlier. In some parts of Canada, milk is delivered in plastic bags and not in cartons like we might normally do. And so a lot of times this plastic will go to recycling or go to landfill. And so they've been able to take these milk bags, clean them, strip them down, and and weave them into milk bag mats that they distribute. They sent them literally around the world to places like the Philippines, to Haiti, as well as homeless shelters, and offer people in need a durable, washable alternative to sleeping on the cold, damp ground. And over the years, they've actually made over 10,000 milk bag mats that are being needed and used in their community. They also did some support of local shelters by donating gently used and new items to them for a women's shelter in Whitby and an Out of the Cold program. And they actually held a garage sale as well to raise funds to buy the supplies for that. They've also collected school supplies. They organized a blood donor drive, and Hope Worldwide Canada is now partnering with the Canadian Red Cross coast to coast to help support those things. And they also, for the children in their community, organized a breakfast for Santa. Our sister church in Newmarket does not currently have a Hope chapter, but has been incredibly supportive of Hope programs over the years and is currently in the process of evaluating bringing on a chapter in the next few years. Moving up to Ottawa, our nation's capital, the chapter there in 2019 was in transition, but volunteers from Hope Worldwide Canada were still able to serve their community in December by sponsoring over 30 families with Christmas hampers that they handed out. In November, I was fortunate to be in Ottawa for business and was invited to meet with the men during their midweek and share with them, and it was a very encouraging and inspiring time there with them. God has amazing plans for the Hope chapter in our nation's capital. They've installed a new chapter director in Pedro Bab, revitalizing their chapter program, and they're looking forward to doing amazing things to serve their community in the future. Montreal is home to one of our original and flagship chapters that we have for Hope Worldwide Canada, and is currently being co-led by Kosi Efu and Manuela Francois St. Cyr, who serve as co-chapter directors, and they've been very active during 2019. They sent volunteers throughout the year to Mission Bon Assuel. They also went with their teen ministry to serve at families at Manoir McDonald. In August and July, they sent volunteers to serve on Hope Volunteer Corps in Haiti and Alaska. They collected back-to-school supplies to hand out in August as well. And then in December, they organized a Christmas wish list program. And Oceane Francois St. Cyr, who currently serves as a volunteer with the Hope Worldwide National Youth Advisory Council organized a Christmas wish list that met the needs of gifts for 9 families in their community. Back in April, I was invited to Montreal by the evangelist Stanley DeMornay to share with the church about what Hope Worldwide Canada is doing. I met with the chapter advisory group afterwards and had an amazing time. They're very encouraging to see what the Montreal chapter and the volunteers are doing. Merci beaucoup. Here in Halifax, where my family lives, we are so grateful for the volunteers of the Halifax Dartmouth Church of Christ and our community that are able to support us in all that we're able to do. Our chapter here continues to support the Sunday Supper program, and our volunteers have been fortunate to do that for over 18 years now, in which we provide warm meals and an even warmer smile for those experiencing homelessness and economic challenges in their lives. In addition to supporting the Sunday Supper program, volunteers from Hope Worldwide Canada also rebooted a foot care clinic that meets specific medical needs for those attending the Sunday Supper program to help them in that. 2019 also saw the Halifax chapter embark on some new ways of serving. We started a hearing test clinic that ran alongside and served the guests of the Sunday Supper program. We also ran a donation drive to support another local charity, Dress for Success, whose mandate is to provide clothing and mentoring to women re-entering the workforce, and we were excited and grateful to be able to do that. We're also very fortunate to have some amazing fundraisers, and we're so thankful for that. The Halifax chapter ran for the 5th year in a row in the Blue Nose 10K as a fundraiser, as well as in the October Rider Walk for Refuge, to allow us to raise funds to do the programs that we do. A dear friend of mine once said, when we serve people, miracles happen. And back in October 21st of 2019, we witnessed the miracle when you combine the great compassion of serving of Matthew 25 with the great commission of Matthew 28. And Sanjay Thompson became a Christian literally just around the corner here in the inlet up in the northwest arm. And he's a fantastic part of our advisory group, but he first encountered the church here in Halifax through coming out and attending and serving at a Hope event the previous summer. Some other updates from 2019 that I would like to share. In January, I had the fortune of being invited to meet with the Eastern Canadian church leaders in one of their meetings that they have, and I was extremely warmly received, and with them I was able to share what Hope Worldwide Canada was doing, not only in their communities across Canada and around the world, and I was able to thank them for the support that they provided to us. We're very grateful for the support of our fellowship of churches. I was very warmly received, and they were excited and amazed at what God is doing through the volunteers of Hope Worldwide Canada. In July, volunteers from across Canada gathered in Toronto for a training workshop, and Terry Loso from Hope Worldwide came up to visit with us and taught lessons that centered around relational service, which ensures us to enable that our service is helping and not hurting those that we're helping. And back in that meeting in July, that was actually the largest gathering ever of Hope Worldwide volunteers in our history as a Canadian-based faith charity. July and August also saw volunteers from Hope Worldwide Canada travel to Nepal to serve on a Hope Worldwide Volunteer Corps. And this was a unique one in that it was a skilled volunteer trip that focused on knowledge and skills transfer by the volunteers, doctors, dentists, nurses, and educators that came along and served alongside local Nepalese professionals, assisting them on the ways that they're serving their communities. And while there, volunteers from Hope Worldwide Canada were also able to serve the local church by providing healthcare clinics, marriage and parenting workshops, and handed out water filtration kits, and also assisted in earthquake disaster preparation training. October saw over 26 Canadian volunteers and supporters join us with 600 of their peers in San Diego for the Hope Worldwide Global Conference. While there, it was very encouraging to see my co-country director, Kimberly Potter from Winnipeg, recognized on a global basis as one of Hope Worldwide Volunteers of the Year. We're very excited for the amazing ways that she's serving and having an impact. Members of Hope Worldwide Canada were also asked to teach classes on volunteer mobilization, becoming a master fundraiser, and empowering communities, and really enjoyed a time of refreshing, encouraging time. 2019 was our best year ever, and we're eagerly looking forward to what the future years will hold. Hope Worldwide Canada is extremely grateful for all the volunteers, all the donors, all the supporters, and all the partners that we have from coast to coast as we serve our local communities as well as our global community. We're faithful for what the future holds. We invite you to come along with us on this journey as we continue to bring hope and change lives. Thank you.
My name is Dave Tomlinson, and I'm the Director of Global Disaster Response for Hope Worldwide. On September 1st, 2019, the most powerful hurricane ever to make a landfall in the Atlantic struck our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas. Nassau was largely spared, but Grand Bahama and Abaco Island took the full force of Hurricane Dorian. Fortunately, none of our brothers and sisters were injured, but about half of the families in the small church in Freeport received serious damage to their homes. In addition to the physical damage to the islands, the emotional trauma created long-term challenges for families. Hope Worldwide quickly mobilized relief supplies through South Florida and traveled by boat to Grand Bahama. I, along with several brothers from the Broward Church in South Florida, made the overnight trip and delivered 20,000 pounds of relief supplies to the church in Freeport and the larger community. I have to tell you, one of the top moments of 2019 for me was seeing the relief on the Freeport brothers and sisters' faces as we pulled that boat up to the dock and began to unload those much needed supplies. I'll never forget asking Keno and Pam Hannah, the leaders of the church in Freeport, how they were doing and hearing the relief in their voices that help was starting to arrive. After doing a quick assessment with the team in Freeport, Hope Worldwide sent a call for relief funds to churches and Hope Worldwide chapters around the world. As always, the response of disciples was astonishing, including the $33,000 raised by the Canadian churches and Hope Worldwide Canada. Over $200,000 was given to help our brothers and sisters in the people of the Bahamas. You and kind-hearted donors like you provided thousands of dollars in relief supplies such as generators, water filters, food, clothes, and cleanup supplies. To date, 8 houses of disciples, all of those that were damaged, have been repaired or are finishing up repairs as I speak. A team of trained counselors traveled to the Bahamas and provided emotional care and support for the church and its families and neighbors. A second counseling weekend was conducted virtually in early 2020. Hope Worldwide had 2 volunteer corps trips planned for 2020 to the Bahamas with a focus on recovery and resilience. Unfortunately, the global COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of all these trips. We are hopeful that travel to the Bahamas can safely resume and we can continue to support our brothers and sisters with Hope Volunteer Corps programs and other Hope programs. Right now, the dollars are still being used to help prepare the Bahamas for the future. We are sending funds to purchase and pre-position relief supplies in the coming weeks as the Atlantic hurricane season is again upon us. Thank you doesn't seem to be an adequate phrase for all of your giving. But on behalf of Hope Worldwide and our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas, thank you. I also wanted to give you a quick COVID-19 update. You just raised $44,000 for the Loaves and Fishes campaign. My wife and I watched your benefit concert, and it was a joy to listen to the sounds of Canada. As you know, over $2.4 million was raised globally for the Loaves and Fishes campaign. This is the largest relief campaign in the 30-year history of Hope Worldwide. As of July 31st, with your amazing generosity, we will have sent over $820,000 to 65 countries. Over 40,000 brothers and sisters and their families and 250 churches have been and continue to be supported with food, medicine, and other relief supplies. Based on the current pace of relief funding request, we believe we're going to be able to fund through 2020. All of us at Hope Worldwide consider it a great blessing to partner with Hope Worldwide Canada and the churches throughout Canada. We join you in prayer for our world during this difficult time. We have faith that God will continue to bless His children in need through gifts like yours. God bless.
Dear friends, greetings from Moscow, Russia. My name is Sergey Karbenko, and I am the president of Hope Worldwide here in Moscow. I am married and I have 2 children. In this video, we would like to share with you about the work we do, helping orphan children, alone seniors, disabled people. Together with our Hope team and volunteers for the past 20 years, we do everything possible to continue support those who need our attention. During our work, the main purpose for us is to understand, first of all, what is the problem today in our society. We meet together with the team, with our volunteers, we brainstorm, and then when we understand where is the problem, who need our attention and support, we go and help. And it may change year after year, it's different. And our world is very radically changing year after year. Things are changing. But what we see in our society here in Russia, that the problem for alone seniors is still here. It's loneliness and the lack of individual attention. That's why we inspire ourselves and our volunteers do everything possible to take care about these alone seniors. And we're proud that for the past 20 years we run this great program, Seniors Center, where we run birthday programs. We celebrate 90, 95, even 100 years old birthdays of our seniors, inviting volunteers. We may do also individual support, visit those seniors who cannot move anymore because of their age, and take care about them at their homes, bringing food, bringing medicine, even just to sit and talk with the person, because he's alone, she's alone, no relatives, no friends. And another name for our program is the Old Friends Home. It's old friends when they meet together and the loneliness leave these people. They have hope, they can be joyful, and also they can start to think about other people who need the support as well, who live maybe at the same building. Here is few great examples we want to share. Nina Mikhailovna, she is 93 years old. We met with her a long time ago. She was a lone person, no relatives, no friends. Been with us in senior center, she became a new person, very active, helping other people in need together with us. And also, she's helping us to educate our volunteers. Another person is Maxim. He studied in an orphanage, being an orphan person. Being in the program, he graduated, and then he became to also participate in different programs, and in time he became the part of our Hope team here in Moscow. These great examples to help us to move on and help as many people as possible. On behalf of our Hope team in Moscow, we want to say thank you to Hope Worldwide of Canada and to every one of you who, through all these years, continue to support our work. Together, we continue serve the poor and the needy. Спасибо. This is thank you in Russian.
Hi there, my name is Taras Kulish. I'm with Hope Worldwide Canada, and I'm here to talk to you about Helping Hand for Ukraine, which is a project with Hope Worldwide Canada and Hope Worldwide Ukraine. The project delivers humanitarian aid and affects the lives of internally displaced people from eastern Ukraine. The project provides psychological assistance and improves the socio-emotional well-being of children and parents traumatized by military events in eastern Ukraine. The program empowers trainers, trained psychologists, social workers, and teachers to work with traumatized children using the Children and War Teaching Recovery Techniques program. From January to July 2020, we have held Children and War Teaching Recovery Techniques trainings in the town of Severodonetsk, and it was a 3-day training program where psychologists, social workers, and therapists were trained in the specialized techniques. As well, we held 16 therapy courses using the Children in War Teaching Recovery Techniques, and over 157 children were impacted, as well as 23 parents and 9 teachers. These therapy courses took place in the towns of Rubizhne, Starobilsk, Hirske, Svatovo, Prokhorovsk, Kramatorsk, Severodonetsk, and Chmyrivka. The Helping Hand for Ukraine International Relief Project aims to prevent PTSD depression in children of war. It prevents the need for specialized treatment later on in the children's lives. It helps children learn how to cope with stress, and it helps to foster better social adaptation of internally displaced people through the program. The program is a partnership of the Ukrainian Institute of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, Hope Worldwide Canada, Hope Worldwide USA, Hope Worldwide Zurich, and the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives of the Embassy to Canada to Ukraine. We've also received generous grants over the years from Ukrainian Credit Union in Toronto. Thank you so much for supporting the program and helping children with war trauma. Through this program, you are bringing hope and changing lives.
Hello and namaste everyone. I'm Anu Dangol. I'm leading Hope Worldwide here in Nepal since 2016 as a country director. I'm really inspired to see the students coming here and getting their education. And I mean, they are getting a dream in their life, and I truly believe that the education that they are getting from here will help them grow in their life.
This is Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal. It is one of the cities with a population of 3 million people. Hope in Nepal was established in 1994 with the initiative to start a school for needy children in Kathmandu. Hope Nepal provides a high standard of education to the underprivileged community. The children receive food, books, clothes and much more. Ria Roca is 20 years old. She has 5 members of family, her 2 sisters and her parents. They live together in a room attached to a kitchen. She used to be one of the very hard-working students of our school. Her mother suffered from heart disease. Therefore her family had to pay many medical bills, which meant they could no longer afford to continue her education. Hope Worldwide Canada sponsored her to join college and pursue her dreams of becoming a nurse. After completing her degree next October, she wants to serve with Hope Worldwide Nepal. We have vocational training centers, which includes computer skill development and English language learning at 3 different places of Nepal. Many of the students do their schooling from a government school due to financial incapability. As a result, they face difficulty to cope with the English language and have difficulty to operate computer. These vocational training center have benefited more than 350 students. Students have been extremely happy and grateful for the service they had received. After earthquake, Himalaya village was completely devastated. Many donors around the world helped us to work on a project in the village center. Hair processing factory was constructed to employ local villagers, and to cover the ongoing annual operation costs of the village center. The center also includes a rainwater harvesting system, as well as classrooms to teach computer skills and English for the villagers, a community room for various local needs, as well as host a community-based micro-loan facility for local farming purposes.
A very special thank you to everyone in Canada who has helped to support our different programs over the years. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jun Velasco and I am the Executive Director of Hope Worldwide in the Philippines. Philippines is one of the most beautiful places in the world, I believe that. But behind its beauty is the ugly face of poverty. We are a developing nation, and many of our Filipino here, they work abroad because there are limited opportunities in our nation due to poverty. This year alone, because of the lockdown and the pandemic, cases of abuse in the Philippines increased 3 times. And what we are doing now, we do different services like advocacy and prevention of child abuse. So we do on air and online, and also training teachers on how to have knowledge on handling cases of disclosures and reporting of child abuse. Children are being taught by our staff on how to protect themselves against abuse and on how to report abuse as well to the authorities. For those children in our communities being identified by our social workers and staff, they are being referred to our center for case management and treatment up to recovery, including their family. There are children who are not safe in the community, so they are being referred to our center in Laguna, the girls' home in Laguna, which they can get all these services from food, education, treatment, and recovery until such time they will be reintegrated back to their community, to their family. Or if they don't have family, like Christine, they will grow up in our center being provided with what they need. And right now, Christine finished her degree in psychology, and she was so happy. Children are very excited because they are looking forward when they are in the center to have something, a brighter future that they can look up to.
So, paano nakakatulong sa iyo yung Hope Worldwide ngayon?
Sa totoo lang po, sobrang dami pong natulong sa akin ng Hope, lalo na din po sa iba kong kasamahan, para po maayos po kami. Like po, yung dati po, pangarap ko po talaga makapag-aral. Tapos ngayon po, nakagraduate na po ako ng grade 6 and then mag-grade 7 na po ako. At dito po, nakakakain din po kami ng maayos. Nagagawa po namin yung gusto namin gawin. Yung makapagsaya po kami mga bata. At natuturuan po kami ng maayos, nagagabayan po kami kahit alam po namin na dapat po nasa pamilya po nila sila, nandito pa rin po sila para alagaan kami, na tinutulungan po nila kaming i-guide sa lahat ng bagay, kagaya po ng paggawa po ng task, pag-aaral, kung paano po gumalang sa mga taong nakakasalamuhan namin. And tinuturuan din po nila kami kung paano po kilalanin si God at kung paano po magpasalamat sa mga bagay na binibigay kahit po maliit lang po yun. Yan lang po. Thank you po.
And I am very, very grateful because Hope Worldwide Canada has been serving the Center of Hope Laguna, our orphanage in Laguna, in the past 10 years. Hundreds of children has been helped through the funding that you are sending every year. Not only that, we also receive funds through your fundraising during the typhoon. So we were able to build together the Center of Hope in Ormoc, the Center of Hope in Tacloban, and right now these centers provide protection services to the children. They also access education in our center, as well as livelihood support for their families to become self-sustained, have that income that can sustain their children. Hope Worldwide Canada, thank you very much to all your support. You are a blessing to us. You are a great partner to us. Mabuhay po kayong lahat at salamat sa inyong mga tulong sa Hope Worldwide Philippines.
Hi, my name is Etienne Alzro. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, and I'm also part of the Global Service Intern, and it's good to share with you some good news today.
Hi, my name is Mac. I'm from Newmarket, Ontario, but currently living in Halifax, and I am also a Global Service Intern.
Hi, I'm Juliana, and I'm a GSI from Hamilton, Ontario.
Hey, my name is Gabe Jung, and I'm a GSI based in Toronto.
Last year, I had the chance to serve in Haiti. It was a great experience, really deepened my convictions about serving. And as I look at the future, it's just really exciting thing that I see, because this year we're able to just kind of have more opportunities to see the needs. And that's in my church right now, we're looking into more ways to serve as a community and really make service a focus. So I'm really excited about what would that look like for the future, only of our church, not only of our church, but for the churches in Canada as well.
And for me, I was able and had the amazing opportunity of serving in Nepal last summer. And I just think it was such a great time for me, just seeing how a lot of the things that injustice and poverty that I've seen in Nepal and in different countries, how that can apply to Canada as well. And I just think that Hope Canada continues to stay unified through this time of the pandemic and pushes to address poverty and injustice within our country and around the world.
I have the privilege to serve on the same trip as Nate in Haiti last summer. And I just wanted to say that this pandemic has given us the opportunity as interns for Hope Worldwide to keep in contact and to work together in a new way to support Hope Canada. For example, together we planned the Hope Canada Worship Night, and it showed us that distance doesn't have to be a barrier for making a difference.
And as we look to the future, we as disciples and volunteers can only have faith and hope that things like volunteering locally, fundraising, and Hope trips like Hope Medical Brigades and Hope Volunteer Corps can continue in the near future.
Hi there, my name is Maxine McCoy, a Hope Worldwide Canada board member. I hope that you were inspired by the work we're doing nationally and internationally here at Hope Worldwide Canada, and that you were encouraged by the stories and passions of the project leads and those we serve. The work we're doing is truly making a difference to the lives of so many. At this time, I would like to thank our board of directors, our country directors, our chapter directors, and our frontline volunteers for their tireless efforts. Also, my appreciation to the family members of our volunteers, because volunteering impacts those close to us. We are very blessed to have such amazing volunteers working with our programs and supporting us. We're especially blessed with the support of our funders, and we truly appreciate everyone's support to us. I know that volunteering takes time and commitment, but also know that it is a very fulfilling experience as well. As someone who's been volunteering with Hope since the 90s, I can say it's always been a joy for me to be able to engage with the different communities that we serve. Again, thanks so much for everyone who is a part of Hope. If you would like to learn more, please visit our website for information on our different activities. In addition, a big thank you to John Abed for his work in putting together this presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
We just finished our Sunday service here at the 2019 Global Conference here in San Diego. It was truly inspiring. We had brothers and sisters from around the world who have a common mission to love and serve those in need. We had people from Africa, Asia, Australia, Lebanon, Cambodia, Mexico, and many, many more. And with all these people here, we had over 33 sessions, classes, and workshops to meet the needs of those of the poor, with empowering early childhood development, global disaster response, inspiring our youth, the future of Hope Worldwide, along with many more. We honored so many people here today, Bob and Pat Gimple. We honored Walter and Lori Kukowski, Mark Ottenwaller, Dr. Cornelia from Cambodia, and many, many more. Our programs are stronger and better than ever. Our Hope Worldwide Volunteer Corps is inspiring for youth, for singles, for marrieds. All ages can volunteer.
In 2019, we had well over 800 volunteers serve in 26 sites around the world, which is more than we've ever done before.
We were able to hear from Dr. Mark Aguirre, who's been spearheading our early childhood development programs in South Africa.
Early childhood development is all about the holistic development of a child, especially in the first few years of life. And in South Africa, we are providing thousands of parents with the knowledge, skills, and support to really know how to nurture their children. So we've expanded our early childhood development program to another 5 countries to really make sure that children get the best possible start in life.
We couldn't have asked for a better response. Our mission and goal remains the same. We want to bring hope and change lives to people around the world.